Good morning, everyone out there in internet land. My name is Troy Benier, and this is the Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival. And today we have Mr. Cameron Carr from his film, his sci-fi drama called Harlem Fragments. And we'd like to bring him on board and welcome him. Greetings, Cameron. How are you?
Oh, so good. Happy to be aboard. I like your ship.
Thank you. Thank you. This is actually a space station. We are currently not far away from, but we're somewhere between the Earth and the Moon. It's like the Lagrange point two. And we had to adjust our electromagnetic shielding because the sun's solar flux made a blast to Earth, and it's currently blasting the planet. And it'll stop sometime tomorrow night.
Naturally. Love it. Love it. Well, honored to be here. Honored to be aboard.
Yeah. So welcome once again, and feel free to share the YouTube or Facebook link. You can share it to the community because we are live. We're live on all those networks. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and currently Twitter. So feel free, help yourself.
Amazing.
Let's get started here.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So it was good to see you at the festival, man. Thanks so much for coming to the physical event. It was a blast.
No, thank you so much for having me. It was an honor, and I really wouldn't have missed it. I was really looking forward to this so much. I've heard such great things, and it was really a blast. So it was so great to be there.
Good. No, thank you. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about Cameron. Where's Cameron from, and why'd you make this film?
Yeah. So I am, from New York City, Manhattan, Harlem, born and raised. So hence came Harlem Fragments. I grew up watching a bunch of movies. My dad really turned me on to filmmaking, everything from, he was showing me James Bond to Indiana Jones to, lots of Star Wars. And, growing up, I was around all these movies and adventures, and I was always trying to think about, who are the black James Bonds, who is where is my black Buzz Lightyear kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of, really instilled me to want to make that kind of storytelling with my own films, my own projects. And so that's how Harlem Fragments came to be, because as my directorial debut, I wanted to, not only deal with Afro-surrealism, but also Afrofuturism. And so really wanted to lean into that drama sci-fi route. Awesome. To get that storytelling.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. You're what they call someone who's been growing up in Harlem. Most folks don't really know Harlem is part of Manhattan, which is all part of New York City.
That's right.
These are historic communities that to this day people thrive and live there.
Yeah.
I was last in Harlem. I want to say it was a little less than 2 years ago. I was there because I have a cousin that was living there she lived there for a long time, and just the experience of it, and I have to tell you, that restaurant called Jacob's.
Oh yeah,
folks, if you can do it, okay. Jacobs, and they're not paying us or anything like that, but we're foodies, okay? We love to eat. We visit various planets all over the galaxy. When it comes to visiting, we're gonna stop by and take a look at your food. And this place called Jacobs, and you could get a plate of beef ribs with load of fixings, whatever you could fit into the box.
Exactly.
and collards or whatever, and they ring it up and it's $12.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. That's why people love Jacobs.
Miami. So definitely a place to hit if you're in New York City and you don't mind traveling 20 minutes on A train, one of those number trains.
Yeah.
And just go uptown.
That's right.
And have lunch right there. When I was there, the place was full of people from France. I don't know what it is with all of them in France, but plenty of French tourists.
Oh yeah,
which was,
they love Harlem, and again, that's the thing. I call Harlem the Harlem heartbeat, because it's kind of the one one of the last few places in New York that's contained with that culture. And so it's really been my mission to put Harlem on the map the same way Spike did for Brooklyn. So, like you said, Troy, like, people think of Harlem. I've had coworkers in advertising, who were like, "Wait, Harlem's in Manhattan? Are you sure?" And what Harlem is, and the beauty of Harlem, and people forget that that's where everybody used to skedaddle up to, in the 20s to get away. It was kind of
That's right.
the original.
On my mom's side
Yeah.
and my dad's side, both families lived in Harlem.
Yeah.
Both families lived in Harlem. In fact, my same cousin, she sent a picture of our old family brownstone that we had. They were living there sometime between the 20s, and I want to say they lived there all the way up through somewhere in the 40s or early 50s.
Man, that's amazing.
That's when they were living in Harlem during that time.
Yeah.
My grandmother moved there. She left South Carolina with her family, and they moved to Harlem, and they arrived there, I want to say it was the late 20s.
Right on. Yeah.
Late 20s. She was a teenager. She was there.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, she was right there in the middle of it all. That's
right.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I really wanted to demonstrate that in this film, and this is a one location film, but we were able to not only transcend time and space through the manipulation of that, but we were able to kind of show this brownstone in its core as another character and as a kind of a creature and a vessel in this atmosphere. And so it goes through different changes, and is almost kind of like beautifully haunting the audience as this atmosphere, as this arena, but it becomes very foreign and alien like to this family. So
yes, and folks, to remind you, it's a short film. It wasn't a feature. It's a short, and we were very impressed with the cinematography. You got to tell us about the camera.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna while you're doing that, I'm gonna share some of the photos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and a huge shout out and commending to my cinematographer Nona Kachasanu, who really worked with me on we're very meticulous filmmakers, and we want to intensively shot list, and exactly, and we really wanted to create these setups of these frames that were very much intensively whether vertical layouts or dead on in our 4:3 aspect ratio format. I had a lot of inspiration from shots of symmetry in The Shining, to shots from Last Black Man in San Francisco, to 2001: Space Odyssey, and again, and we really wanted to show this intense structure of the brownstone and these crazy high ceilings and these pre-war fine crafted architectures. So it really is meant, as you can see here, it's a very intimidating structure looking down on these little humans trying to enter it.
Wow. And when was this shot?
This was shot in March of 2023.
I was just there prior in 22 in fall.
That's
fall
right.
Of 22 was an incredibly beautiful year in fall for New York. It was because it was one of those long autumns. It was warm.
Oh yeah.
Summer dragged way into it. I was there, I think it was Labor Day weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
There were so many people in the street having a good time. It was an amazing. You know what it felt like?
Yeah.
If you've ever been in New Orleans,
it
to me felt like New Orleans during holiday.
That's great.
Holiday.
Yeah.
People, just so many people in the street having a good time and cooking and eating. Down at the park. It didn't feel like autumn at all.
No, it's special too. It's great because they'll open up the street for restaurants and have little fairs going on in the street. So it's an atmosphere. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So let me can you chat a little bit more about the camera work in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we shot on Fujifilm on the
Wait, you shot on film?
Fujifilm. So we did not use actual film stock, but we shot
Okay.
on a Fujifilm camera, the
A
X-H2S.
Fujifilm camera. Okay.
Yeah. In
Okay.
my color grading, I very much wanted it to look like film, which is why in the grade you get this really film texture, and I wanted this film to really feel like a family scrapbook. And
Right.
so the whole purpose of it is you're in space, lost in space, flipping through these lost archives that are appearing through transmission. But you're zapped into it through kind of this family scrapbook.
And Cameron is a little shy because he's not telling that he got an award for best color grading in a short film, and it shows. It shows. Yeah, it's done so well. Let me show. There's another. We got some other.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. These stills are great because it really, you can really see. It's yeah. No, it's
some folks might be asking, well, is this science fiction? Yes.
Yeah.
And I was looking for the trailer, and you only have it on YouTube. Is it possible you could send that to me real quick? Just the file itself?
Of course. Yeah.
Small one, just a small file. Not something like 100 megs or anything like that.
Yeah, of
I'd
course.
like to share that. But in particular, this photo here we're looking at, this is where the young man is going into his world. And it was how he, correct me if I'm wrong, how he got away from the trauma. But at the same time was trying to find a way to keep the family together.
Yeah. No, I think you put it very perfectly. Just sharing this trailer. Yeah. So, this is where he goes. This is his safe space, if you will, as a 10-year-old trying to deal with the realities of losing his home, his parents being separated, moving out. He is in his head. He's trying to figure out a way to save them, to rescue them. And so this has been his little kind of cubby, which takes inspiration from everything from Indian in the Cupboard to Jumanji. But he goes to this world where he tries to rescue his family. And the sad part of how a 10-year-old and 12-year-old process these things is that often there's ways of escapism. And so he is escaping to his fantasy world, but what happens as he is coming of age, his psyche, is that his reality starts to invade his fantasy world as a very hard truth and life.
And let me double check here. If you had, that's him with his helmet on and the rest of the family, and you don't have, that's the lovely poster. You didn't send one of the cartoons, so there's animation in this, folks.
That's right.
And that's another thing that you go from film to animation, and it does this back and forth, and that was done so well, and it really stitches the story together of his experience and how he's trying to how he sees the world. And I thought that was really special. We don't see that too often. But there's a very small group of filmmakers out there that know how to mix animation with reality. And I'm dating myself. Who kind of was it? I don't know, but I keep going back to this old animated sci-fi movie called Heavy Metal, which was a copyright abomination, which is why most people don't know it, because they never got the rights to the music. And, and this was in the theaters. And they had Journey, real top bands of the day in their movie, but never had the rights for it. And this was in the theaters for a long time.
See, I was a kid when I saw it.
And it's not a movie for kids either. But these people back then thought, it's a cartoon. So they just let the kids all up in there, and you're seeing all of this.
Rest was history right there. Yeah. And that's and thank you for that note. I really wanted to again, in the ambitious filmmaker that I am, for my directorial debut, I didn't just want to do, the same old or take a standard approach. I really wanted to see how far we could push this and to a point where it's not only experimental, but it's a way that's amplifying the story. And so yeah, the reveal in Harlem Fragments is that there's animation as basically the undercurrent of the story. And so that's really where the audience sits with TJ as he kind of revisits and rediscovers kind of what is unfolding with his family. And so it really needed to be on par with the actual live action performances, with the live action cinematography you see here,
Yes.
and with the live action, color grade. And so I have an incredible animator, Noah McNeil, who not only did the animation for the film, but also did the composition and the score. And so
okay.
yeah, and he was very collaborative and hand in hand with me in terms of what I wanted to aspire to. For me, I had a lot of inspiration from, the Toonami days, the Cowboy Bebops, the Gundam. We tied in all of this different stuff, and even some Star Wars, fan made animation that we referenced on YouTube. And so we really wanted to tie this in and give it that nostalgic space atmosphere that still held back to 90s and 80s style. Japanese animation, American animation, just to kind of fold that in as well.
Yeah. So he did the animation as well. How did you pull off your those animated sequences?
Yeah, exactly. So, I came to him originally because I had I'd originally gone to, animation studios because I wanted to really make this legit. And we spoke to a few animation houses and they all said, I wanted 90 seconds of animation. And they're like, kid, you're crazy. We'll quote you at $30K a minute for any kind of animation.
$30K a minute.
Yeah. They threw, the book and industry rates at me. And so I said, well, I can't do that, guys. And so I actually, my art director, Julissa Yancey, who knew Noah, was, mentioned to me because I had used him for just to play the keyboard on a previous film that I had produced. Right. And so she told me, hey, Noah does animation too. And I said, all right, and then I actually looked at his stuff and I said, oh, this is really incredible. This kid is really talented. And so I reached out to him and kind of pitched him on my idea to see how it would resonate with him. And it just really, he was like, this is exactly what I want to do. And so what's awesome about that is that it created an opportunity for Noah to, he has done a lot of animation for music videos, but this was his first film that he was able to animate. And then also on top of that, his first film, he was able to score. So just to have that opportunity, he was so excited for it. And that's just, that's how you can make a really good product when you're so enthused and you really are passionate about it. So he was really just right there with me on making sure he got, the Afro pick antenna perfectly correct. The Hummingbird ship that we use, the fuel rocket boosters on it, animations. Yeah. So, gotta really give his flowers because we want to do a whole lot more, after this. I think he's really like, we gotta make more stuff. So
the trailer's queued up. Can we play it?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's rock it.
T-10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines functional. Prepare for stage 1 separation.
A teaser, if you will.
Yeah, it's a teaser. And once again, the animation.
Yeah. Our approach was to really have it be alluring and lure people in and to really have this really shock in the reveal. And the animation is like the second deeper layer. It's like we keep going deeper.
Yeah, it's very, and it has that sad tale. But would it also be fair to say that you're really a Spike Lee fan?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt when I watched the film, I watched it a couple times. I always watch films more than once,
yeah,
but in particular the ones that I like a lot.
yeah,
But to me, watching it in the flow, the way the cinematography cut, um, it just felt so New York. There are
hmm
only a couple filmmakers that really, to me, because I'm from New York too, folks. I'm
yeah,
from Queens,
yeah.
right? That's New York City as well.
Right.
And to me, whenever I watch these movies about New York City,
hmm
they're not really. Some of them, you know that they're not really New Yorkers or whatever.
Yeah.
But we get films from MiSciFi
hmm
that are, guys, gals from New York that are making these movies in New York City. I'll never forget we had one, which is a feature film that was shot in the Bronx.
Yeah.
It was a time traveler shot in the Bronx.
Wow.
Yes. And you can tell. You
Yeah.
can tell it's a New Yorker that's made this film. They
Yeah.
they all have most of your films have this vibe about them. And it
hmm
has to do with the framing.
hmm
It has to do with not just the focus, but the distance from that individual from the camera.
hmm
The way it's blocked, the way things are blocked and framed,
Yeah.
the music and the pace, I see it all the time in Spike Lee
Yeah.
movies.
hmm
What's his name? Does all the Italian one. He was the lead in Casino. De Niro.
Oh, Robert.
De
hmm
Niro. Robert De
hmm
Niro's in the film. Spike
Yeah.
Lee's making a film. To me, I'm like, they, so much overlap. To
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
so much
No.
overlap.
No,
And
I mean it's true, and thank you for that observation because yeah, I very much hail from growing up on Spike movies. Once I got done, absorbing the James Bonds and Indiana Jones,
yes,
and yeah, the Do the Right Thing stepped in and blew me away, and then I just went down the catalog. And like I was saying earlier, I really uh, respect how Spike came on the map and just made film relentlessly and unapologetically, and that's why I want to put Harlem on the map the same way Spike did for Brooklyn, because it's very much so in the same atmosphere of potent storytelling.
so can you talk a little bit about how you went about casting
Yeah,
putting your cast together? Uh, what did you do to get your crew?
sure.
They're two completely different things, but you
Yeah.
still have to put a lot of effort and resources to get it right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And those are great questions because the cast again in a one location shoot in a 3-day rodeo. Somehow we pulled this off in 3 days. The cast really needs to carry the story and be believable, right? If you're getting this vulnerable and speaking about for folks listening in, this film Harlem Fragments is an autobiographical story of my own family, and so it was a close project for me, and I really wanted to obviously have that cathartic filmmaking experience, but have it be able to be relatable and universally applicable to audiences
Sure.
across the globe, to resonate with family turmoil, family hardship, separation, all of the above, and just the ability for families to normalize being able to process these kinds of things as they go through life. So
And and not to interject too much,
yeah,
but just to let the community know out here that this is Saturday, the 11th of May, the 11th. We're live. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask
yeah,
anywhere on your social media app, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, and we'll see that. We'll try to answer you. We'll try to respond in time. But go
yeah.
ahead. What you think,
Yeah,
Cameron?
yeah, please. Any questions? And so that's really, and on top of that, we knew we were dealing with young talent, and so I knew off the bat that I was going to work with one of my closest collaborators, Roderick Lawrence, who plays my dad in the film. Lawrence is his role, and he comes from a grand resume of Simba on Broadway and Lion King, playing Ike Turner and Tina the Musical, and we just did a $1 million independent feature together, shot in New York and Harlem in January. That's coming out this year, Silent Partner. So we have worked.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's we're cooking. We've worked on a bunch of different projects together. And so, I came to him instantly with this, and he was right on board. And so then I needed someone who could play, his wife and my mom, Lynn, in the role of this film, who could keep up with him, because they have to really match each other's energy. And so Clarissa Thibault was someone we had auditioned for a previous movie, and we casted someone else because her role just didn't fit in that movie, but I instantly thought of her for this, and I reached out to Rod and I said, "Hey, Rod, what do you think about Clarissa playing your wife?" And he was like, "It's really interesting that you say that, because we were supposed to play a couple in this theater production that had a lot of ups and downs, but the COVID happened, and we never got to play that role. So they had all of this existing chemistry already fit in the dynamic, and that's exactly what the purpose of their role in this film needed to be, because you need to see all snapshots of happy and sad. Yeah.
Do you know Karen Hunter?
I don't.
Karen Hunter. She has a show called Karen Hunter. That's not her real name is not Hunter. She's faculty at Hunter College.
Oh, really?
She's the #1 person on Sirius XM with her show.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah. She's right here.
You should reach out to her.
That's great.
I've never reached out to her previously. I've been meaning to about a bunch of things that I do and involved in, university stuff. They would love to hear that. But I think this is something that, because every day they have like different type of shows.
Oh, cool.
And not that it would go into Tech Tuesday, but it could go alongside Tech Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get good coverage. Not to mention, you get great coverage from it because it's an international network. But at the same time, there's a lot of like-minded audience. It's a like-minded audience.
Yeah. No, that's a great channel. I'll definitely look out for that. And
it's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, because
I love teacher, but anyway.
Yeah, no, because this film is meant to be an educational PSA. On top of its many layers of stunts that it does do. I want it to be for the general public to absorb in that way. And I think that's how as we were talking about earlier. You as hailing from Spike and you want films to do work and to do accomplish things, not only visually, cinematically, but to land that triple axle, it's got to really have some social impact and kind of give you that feeling as you the theater. And I want people to walk away being like, "Wow, that really."
What kind of tools did you use? Did you use any software to cast people?
And so for the kids, we used Backstage Casting. And
they used to be a sponsor. We're trying to get them back.
Oh, they got to come back. Yeah.
They're to me the best tool, and I'm happy to support them. They haven't really recognized us this season, but we still advertise them.
Yeah.
So
tell them a lot of their films were cast through their system, like this one. Yeah,
we use them to get actors for our screenplay performance.
Amazing, that's great. Yeah, so
we're going to use it.
So very incredible. My producers, told me this is our best route, and as you see here on screen, these two kids, Kyle Keys and Stella Coviello, are two incredible actors. And I knew instantly when Kyle's face popped up on that little backstage casting box. He had such an aura, through the screen, and just such potent, unchanneled talent, that he's never had a big role like this. And so, he just wanted to go for it and really wanted this opportunity to do so. And it showed in not only his performance in this audition, but like what he was saying in our actual conversation, talking together. And, he has an affinity with Harlem, because his dad is out of there. And so to me, I was like, well, that's what we're looking for. And so, he walked on set, and just as he got deeper and deeper in, by day 3, he was knocking it out of the house because he was just so in it, used to it,
comfortable and confident.
And those are our biggest, those are our biggest deliveries of scenes. and so we really needed to have a lot of performance on day 3, and he just brought it. He brought the house down. So it was really a perfect atmosphere for him to really grow into.
Yeah.
And that's what this kind of, relentlessly ambitious and vulnerable filmmaking is about. You want to take those calculated risks. There were conversations with my producers, kind of like, well, he's a little green. And I'm like, that's what we want. We want a kid who's awkwardly, trying to move through this family divorce. And, he was so great for that. And Stella Coviello, the sister, she is such a, it's always my favorite because, a lot of people who see this film, she always ends up being their favorite character because they can really, relate to her as an older sibling, and a protector of sorts, who's also just 2 years older going through the same thing. And so again, the child psychology there, I think, is really, important and powerful to demonstrate.
Sure. No, that's positive. That's positive. And yeah, they're really good child actors. Very good.
Man, super talented.
So,
and then I cast my mom as the grandmother.
you did what?
I casted my mom as the grandmother, as the last grandmother.
So, okay, good.
Yeah.
She was happy.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this one: in what ways do you hope your film influences or impacts its audience? Are there any particular themes or messages you hope viewers will take away?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. For me, I think the biggest, it's kind of two-pronged, right? I think it's this film is so meta in the way that it was pulled off, the production of it. I filmed this film in the actual brownstone home that my family lost in their divorce. So the stage already, to use this structure, to revisit it after 15 years and be able to, address this vulnerable, past. I think for me as a filmmaker is, everything speaking subjectively as an artist, everything I look for in terms of the kind of art that I want to make. I think that's such a powerful impact. And so the message that I'll say on a filmmaking side for filmmakers out there is that, truly lean into your passions and try to pull off that idea that you have in your head that, might seem to you in your brain crazy. It's needed out there. And it hasn't been done yet. So because it's not you making it. And so I relentlessly believe that, try to pull off the crazy, and your team will, will help you pull off and accomplish some version of that in reality, so.
Yes.
And then on the actual, narrative side of this film, I really, for children, for parents, for families alike, I really just want the message across to know that it is okay to normalize processing these kinds of happenings, because they do really happen. And a lot of communities, whether you're Black or white, or, you a lot of things can go under the rug or just unaddressed, or not communicated in therapy. And so people can hold on to these things and bottle them up, and not be able to ever think about them. And I think that, for 10 and 12-year-olds or younger or older, kids, I think it's important to be able to see their experiences on screen and be able to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's awesome.
That's awesome. We're pushing on time here, but I want you to think about something that you want to say that you haven't said yet that's important to say. And when we get to that, so before we get to that, I need to ask you these questions.
All right.
What's your favorite sci-fi film of all time?
Ooh, of all time. That's a great question.
It's one to think about all the
time. Of all time, it moves around, but I might go with The Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then a top 3, I'll go Interstellar and 2001: Space Odyssey. I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, Interstellar was very, it was cerebral.
Yeah.
cerebral. That was its subtext,
Yeah.
and it had it. It's social commentary,
Hmm. Yeah.
environmentalism, but also strong social human values in it. Daddy
Yeah.
daughter, which I totally get.
Yeah.
Um, but it was also extremely heavy cerebral. It was hard sci-fi. It was hard. It was
Yeah.
hard sci-fi, and
Yeah.
we don't get that too often because most communities don't want to produce it. A lot of people don't want to
Hmm.
watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
No,
hear
that's
that,
the
you hear the
perfect.
complaint. Oh, it's too long. What? Whenever is something good too long?
Never. Never.
You need to have your head examined. So,
Yeah, I'll take as much
yeah.
as I can get. Yeah. Yeah. And lots of inspiration from Interstellar in this, I think, because like you said, just the the human values that go into that film, and just make it so much stronger. I mean, it's like, man, you throw that with some Hans Zimmer and it's like it's powerful. So yeah, love that.
So if you cosplayed at a Comic Con, what
Yeah.
character would you be?
I'm Lando Calrissian for sure.
Lando.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
They've got those cosplay costumes out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lando.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's good. He's good. And reimagined version of him
Yeah.
is promising.
Yeah.
Iger's back on board.
Of course.
I'm sure he's thrown a couple chairs, probably threw a plate of spaghetti on the wall.
Yep.
Mad as hell. But I hope.
But then remembered his paycheck.
Huh?
But then remembered his paycheck and his salary.
Yeah. But I hope he put them back on track to delivering some good film, but continue the series, these series. Maybe, I know there's a big problem that they have with the amount of money they spend on these series. That's one of the big problems. And in my opinion, well, find a wiggle room that works best, because those series keep on giving as much, if not more, than the films, in my opinion.
Right.
Because
absolutely,
you could have a 2.5-hour movie. That 2.5 movie doesn't compare to 15 hours of a series. It doesn't compare.
That's right.
The Mandalorian has done things that, it took one Star Wars saga to do, in my opinion. There's so much in the Mandalorian, season 1, season 2.
Man.
And then you couple Boba Fett on with that.
Yeah. How about that? We got Boba Fett out of that. So it's like,
man, did you enjoy that fight scene they had in the end?
Oh yeah.
Boba Fett and they were turning.
Oh, it was killer.
Backing up each other.
Oh yeah.
That
was art right there. That was art. Yeah.
I got a couple copyright strikes from that one. It was just pure fuel adrenaline.
Yeah.
Thank you, Disney. So, last question is, tell me what's on your mind. What's out there that you really want us to know?
Yeah.
What's coming? What's that goal that we know is going to come to life?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. For me, it's making the full-fledged, fully realized version of this, which is the Harlem Fragments feature. I want that to have an even bigger and better splash. We were just talking about these universes of Boba Fett and Mandalorian and Interstellar. That's where I want this film to go. So I have the script built out and just trying to get it developed now and secure funding. But it's awesome because it takes this story and it takes this family and it makes them all real main characters in the actual film. So we get to see everyone's perspectives and the psyche of this family that's going through this experience. And then we can rev up more of that sci-fi aspects too. So we get a lot more time and space, which is
you're gonna still have some of that animation piece in it.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
of course. Yeah. Bigger and better. Yeah. No, exactly.
Please keep me on the IPL, the industry party, please.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And so that's really, and again, it's the reason why I'm so excited for it is because it hasn't been seen yet. Something like the story really hasn't been done out there, and so it's like if you take everything everywhere all at once and fuse it with Interstellar, and do the right thing in, and then have some vibes from The Shining, and so it's like that's where we're going with this film, and so really excited to pull that off. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And again, in that same vein, to continue putting Harlem on the map again, the same way Spike did for Brooklyn. I have another film that I want to follow up as a number 2 feature, which is Harlem Bebop, which is which is again filmed in Harlem, and so again telling more of these Harlem stories and perspectives, and also divisive storytelling through the manipulation of time and space. And so look out for that one up next once we get through this fragment sci-fi journey. Yeah, Afrofuturism is coming.
Hey man, you awarded for that too, Best Afrofuturism Festival.
Man, honored.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I'll close out with this just to say, as I was mentioning to you, it's such a true honor to receive that award. That's exactly the intention that I set out to make with this film. And so to be recognized and just even to be, seen in the sea of film applications, to be at this festival, to receive that award, to me, I was blown away, and it means so much. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
This is what we're doing.
Now, thank you so much for
always
visiting with us today.
Yeah.
This wonderful Saturday morning.
Thanks for beaming me up.
Thank you. And we'll be in touch again soon. Stand by.
Absolutely. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me and for making the time.
All right.
Nice.